So NXT is saying goodbye to USA Network. They've been on that network for quite a while. Since Becky Lynch and all of them were there. Bailey was in NXT. So that just shows you how long it's been. But William Regal decides to reflect on his time in NXT and his time training people and working as the NXT general manager. And, well, I'll just put what he wrote here. This is from Twitter. I was part, except for Triple H's family, part of the very beginning of WWE's NXT. I'm still involved, but not as much as I was. Thank you, H, Sean, Matt, and everyone else who fought the fight of making a 1-hour program on the WWE Network to traveling the world and making new stars and memories for the fans. It continues today. Doesn't matter what the color scheme is or was or has been, we changed the wrestling world, although a few want to admit it. It's been the best part of a 41-year-long career, being NXT to the core. And then a fan responded that Regal went through to AEW to hurt it and assist NXT. He wrote, "Thank you for this guy named, I'm not even going to say his name because it's honestly it's an asinine comment, but because I never once thought he went to AEW to hurt them. But this guy writes, thank you for everything you did for NXT and also snaking out the competition," and puts AEW in parentheses. To which Regal responds, FYI, although it serves some people's agenda and having a massive amount of people who work at AEW that could back me up, I went to AEW because Bryan Danielson asked me to. Please find me one person who can say otherwise. I arrived at 10 a.m. until 6:15 p.m. to train, and anyone who wanted to come apart from going to the restroom and refilling my water container. I never attended a single production meeting, as I knew if I were to stay there. I needed people to realize I was only there to help. Nor did I ask a single question about anybody that works there's contract status. I helped at the ring with what any of the talent needed. I then showered, got into a suit by 6:30, and watched a monitor with everyone else. I'm giving you the right to ask anyone who works backstage or the talent the right to ask them if I did anything but help with no agenda. Feel free. I also did not call Tony Khan when his mom was ill. He called me, and as soon as he told me where he was, I ended the phone call and we spoke 2 weeks later. Now that totally goes against what Tony Khan has been saying, but we'll get there. FYI, my deal was up in December, and it says 2/8. I don't know if that's December 28th or in 2028. That's when I left. So I'm assuming he means December 28th. It's been well over a year since he's been gone, so he could speak out for this now. Because I believe his deal was he could not appear. They were going to let him go, but he could not appear on WWE TV for a year. These are all facts I can prove. Anyone trying to twist this has the right to check this out. I am friendly with 60% plus of the talent and backstage crew. Feel free to do some research. Now, this is kind of shedding some light on him. He even said this on his podcast when he had his podcast. I don't even think he has his podcast anymore. Him arriving at 10 o'clock in the morning and staying till 6:15, which is generally when doors open. He would stay there to help those who wanted to come out and get some in-ring time and hone their craft. And he was famously saying that none of the younger talent wanted his help. He stopped trying to. It's the same as all these other legends who go, like an Arn Anderson, who go to AEW and offer their advice to these kids who should be taking or at least listening like they give a damn. But no, William Regal, who at his age should be able to just sit back and collect by now, a legend in this business, a genuine shooter in this business. You think that people would want, he's probably one of the best technical wrestlers ever to do this. And you think people will want their help, want his help, and want to come pick his brain, but no. Typical AEW childish kids wrestling. They don't think they need nobody's help. They don't want anybody's help. They don't want to learn. They just want to go through glass and go through flaming tables and thumbtacks and barbed wire and push hypodermic needles through each other's cheeks. They don't want a real wrestler's help. And I imagine that when Edge is done with that place, he'll be saying the same thing. Only if Edge was smart, he probably already knew what he was getting into and hasn't even offered anybody any help. He'll just sit back and let the young guys come to them as they please. But this is a man who, how old is William Regal? Let's check this out. How old is William Regal? Let me see here. He's 56 years old. This is about what, 2-3 years he's been gone from AEW. So let's just say 53. I'll round it down and say 53. Here's a 53-year-old man who's traveled the world, seen it all, done it all, is in that ring for 8 hours every single TV taping, and nobody's coming there for help. Nobody's coming there to ask his questions, at least pick his brain. Hey, Mr. Regal, here, I bought you a cup of coffee from catering. Sit down. Let me pick your brain. Can I pick your brain for a minute? Can I ask some things? No, because they think they know it all. They don't need to ask for help. It's just more of the same. And the part where he's saying that, I didn't call Tony Khan when his mother was ill. And the second he told me, I hung up the phone. He called me. Quite a little bit of a difference from what the snowman has been walking around saying, or Tony Khan, were you so blum coked up at the time? Because that's how the young, rich Nepo babies deal with their problems when they get sad. They dope themselves up so much, if not to death. That's what the idle rich do that you don't remember. I don't believe that William Regal was sent to AEW to snake the place out. What I do believe is he wanted to help his son in NXT. And look what Charlie Dempsey has done since William Regal's comeback. He's wrestled in Japan. He's wrestled for a couple of overseas promotions now. So I don't think, I'm not saying that Charlie Dempsey wouldn't have gotten those opportunities if it wasn't for his dad, but, it helps. He's earned it. He's damn good. Why wouldn't you want to go to the place that's just signed your son? So I think it was William Regal got sick and tired of, hey, I'm going to be in my wrestling gear and my workout gear and sit beside a ring for nothing for 8 hours, or I can go put this knowledge, put this 50 something years, 40 something years worth of wealth and knowledge to good use. He won't go to wrestle again. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below, man. This is just, I don't believe he was there to. Is the fan wrong for saying this? Yes, but it just sheds some more light on his AEW time and his exit from there. It goes totally against what that coked up Nepo baby is spinning to everybody. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll see you down the road.